Well, every month we grade the horses. We grade the babies. The last 2 months, Amy and I did it. I thought Jason's gone with a lot of the horses now. I hadn't been around the Ontario ones, so we're not going to let him grade the Ontario ones. I'll do that. But has been around all the horses and seen what they're doing, get a real good feel for what the horses are, especially our Ohio breds, which this year, I think this is the strongest group of Ohio colts we've had since Osopine was 52nd and Yes that year. There's some really, really talented Ohio bred trotting colts. Some nice fillies. I was worried. I told everybody, and we just talked about one of the fillies in Freedom Hill, and I said I projected this 5-6 weeks ago that this filly, remember how hot she was, make breaks, get out of gear, pull up on Eric in the last turn. You could tell she had talent, but was just being rude. We'd seen this before with the What the Hills. The end of the winter into the first part of spring, they really start to act up and misbehave again like they do when you first break them. And you really got to drill into them and really got to work them hard, and they start to come around. And this filly has just jumped forward in huge leaps and bounds. Very, very impressed with what I've seen from her. So we're going to talk about all the babies. Now, when we grade them, I only like to give an A+ to horses that are perfect right now. I don't really care how they're going to be. We know how they're going to be. But an A+ has to be perfect today. Attitude, speed, everything. Doing their work right. Very difficult to get an A+. Has to be. Everybody else, you can give them whatever you want.
I got one off the top of my head.
When I look at a horse like the first one we're going to talk about is Alli's Got Grit. This is a horse that's going to Illinois. Certainly far from an A+ right now. Going to Illinois. Going to race in the Illinois State Program. We're not going to mark them just based on that. But at the same token, here's a horse. Now we'll just we'll get right into it. Here's a horse that could be a lot better than he is. Chooses every day he goes out the barn right now. Now it's dissipating, but still chooses to be a little bit rude and ignorant every time he goes out. And when horses do that, they don't focus well on the track. They don't get their job done as well as they should because they choose not to. So here's a horse. I would say he's a B. Almost a B-, but he is getting better, and he didn't spend as much time here as the other ones. So that rudeness and ignorance that we would have drilled into them, would have drilled out of them in December, in January, didn't happen as easily or as quickly because they weren't here. I do see him getting better. He was behind me when I was backing up with Trucker yesterday, and he could have made a break. He could have been a slob and made a break. Instead, he kind of fitted him out and squished him in between myself and I forget who was out 3 wide, but put him in there where he made breaks before.
Joey was first up. I went 3 wide.
No, this is well after that. We were at the back. I was backing up a little bit. Somebody moved over, and Jason Merriman come up right in between where he could lose his focus and get a little claustrophobic and make a break, and he didn't. He trotted forward. So he is pushing forward. The rudeness is dissipating. His attention span is expanding, and I believe this horse, I'm going to give him a B today. Have you gone with him yet? You have.
I went with him one day. Yeah.
He's got a little talent.
Yeah, B-.
Yes. So we got to go with one or the other.
Well, I went with him once. He wasn't bad, but you can just feel he's not.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
He's improving. I'm going to say B. You say
I'll
B.
I'll go B.
Couple of B's. Arrowhead Hanover. I think the world of this horse, and knowing the international monies, I know he's only going to get better and better and better and better. He's almost as fast as any horse we have. I don't think I've really stretched him out. Like, for them to really look like race horses, we've really worked them hard on a Wednesday, a Saturday, a Wednesday, and then you probably see them on a Saturday. You see a horse like, who would be one of our best horses right now? The Trotter you trained yesterday missed one day, but he's always been on point. That's the one thing about him. When he's on the track, it's go time. And I like that about the horses, and he's a little more manageable. But Arrowhead Hanover's still learning, right? We really haven't put him on the front. A couple of times I worked him hard, and he looked great. He won the sets easy. But Joe moved him 3 wide. He said, he's running out in the turn. That's just him being green, pulling up. And you have to know that about the horses. When you move a horse, when you move a 2-year-old in our sets 3 wide in the last turn, most of them will start to coast right. Because they start looking for stage door right? They start coasting out a little bit. You got to be in front of that. When you with the 3 deep, snap them on the right side and growl at them, they'll take off. But when you let them start to coast, you've already lost it. It's too late. They're already too far gone. You can't recover and then pick up speed and catch other horses that are doing the work as good as they can do it. It's just not likely. So Arrowhead Hanover, I'm giving an A to because I know he will get better. But I think he's got one of the slickest gaits of any of the horses we have. He's got a pretty good attitude. He has everything going on for him. Mentally, he will improve. For that, I'm going to give him an A.
A.
Could be good. Explain yourself. Though. You're going to have to start the next one then if you're just...
Okay. No, I was thinking A, because like you said, to be A+, perfect today. He's not perfect today, but he's there.
Yes, and I agree. So you're going to start with a trunk. Have you gone with her?
Nope.
She's a sweetheart. I've only gone with her once a long time ago, but I watched...
A long time. You guys were away. I went with her when she still had the ear hood and stuff on.
Joey, Eric, and Amy have gone with her, and
I went with her once. We went maybe twice that week, but it was really
all those chimpanzees. It seems like they flip flop, right? Melisandre slid back a bit. She's interfering. We'll talk about her in a minute. But Atron has been there and has been a good filly from day one, and really, I think she really looks good. I am going to give out an A+ for her because I don't think she could be better. I couldn't ask her or make her be better than she is right now. She does everything perfectly. She is an A+ for me.
I was going to go A just because when I went with her, it was way back when. I haven't since, but I'll give you the A+. She looks good out there. She
is very, very good. Aunt Lily, this is a filly that I think is going to be one of our better horses. She is easily disrupted. If her hobbles aren't on right or she's not having a good day, she just doesn't put out the same. If you make her do her work, if I wind her up and put her on her toes, she's really good. But you have to do that. That needs to dissipate also. She has to go out and understand that today is work day. Let's get it done. So for that, I'm going to give her an A-, but I do believe that this could be one of our better Ohio fillies. And we'll talk about a few that are really good right now, and that's saying a lot. So Aunt Lily, did you go with her yet? No, Amy went with her yesterday. She is, to me, an A- because she is as fast as most of our horses. Maybe all, but definitely most. Just needs to put it all together and then consistently have that output. So I'm giving her an A-.
I agree with the A- just because the hobble's got to be pretty snug. She pulled up yesterday. She goes, "Look at the hobbles. Can you believe she stayed trotting?
Way too loose.
Way too loose." But she stayed at it.
She did, and
she stayed at it.
That's a big deal.
So she's coming.
That's a big deal.
Because nobody really wants to go with her because she almost breaks your back.
Rocks the hobbles. You know, the other horse that used to do that was Pine, right?
Right.
Oh, so Pine used to wear them zinging tight. And the Uncle Peters, right? It seems to be a thing. Sometimes they need them. You can let them out at 3. You can let them out later on, and apparently you can let them out when you're training them down. But I just want to see her go out in the track, warm up, and go the right way, and be laser focused. And that's hard to do. That's a big ask, but that's an A+ ask. And she's an A- right now. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill, go.
I haven't gone with in forever. Looks good when he's kind of... Isn't he the one that got a little hot, but then you take the stuff... Or no, he gets lazy, but then you take the stuff off and he gets hot.
That's him. Yeah.
So he can't be an A+. From what I've seen, I'll give him an A.
Yep. I like the horse. Now, he's gone with Joey, Amy. He's just been an even Steven horse. When we need a horse that anybody can go with and sit behind on any given day, it's him. He never runs. He always does his work. He was getting out of gear a little bit down the lane. Joey worked him hard the other day, what was good. And as you said, you never went with him. I never went with him, or Jason Merriman hasn't gone with him in a while. So he's kind of just hanging out in I had a real good name for it, but I can't say it. In lazy land, let's say. He's just hanging out there doing his work, doing enough to get by without being, having anybody drop the hammer on him. And I think when we get closer to the races and we really start to drill down on this guy, you're going to see him, 1, get a little warm. He's going to come to life. And 2, he's going to show back up. And I had somebody message me the other day and just said, just doesn't look as good as I'd hoped. You guys have to understand, you don't get to see everything, right? You don't get to see him on his toes because I don't want him there, right? And maybe I'm wrong. You have to understand that too. You take everything I say here today with a grain of salt, because I can't tell you absolutely with all certainty that everything I'm telling you is going to take place with these horses. I can't say that. But I can tell you that I believe Bluebird Tuxedo Hill will come back to the top of the class, or around the top of the class later on. Jason's right. He doesn't pay attention. The fact you put a snake cord and a hood on him, he's too quiet. You take either off, he's a goof. He wants to run away and be hot. So I like that he's got that he'll attack. I like that he does his work, but very, very intermittently right now. Most of the time he's just a follower, and he doesn't need to be. So I'm going to give him an A-. I
just texted you, Kirby. You want in the move so you can pull the rig up? Lauren's got 2 things in there to get out. Okay.
So we're just getting ready actually to load up for Oak Grove right now. Kirby is here. He's going to take down my trailer and 5 horses to Eric. So we'll continue on. I gave him an A- because I do think there's a lot of improvement there, but it has to be seen, and it hasn't been seen yet. Blue Ventura tied up yesterday. Couldn't
Tied
trade.
up. Haven't gone. I've maybe gone with them once, twice. We're at that point in the year where everybody kind of sticks with their horses they're more familiar with and stuff. But I've seen them, and I've seen them look really good.
Hi, come on in.
Lori's looking for you.
No,
Come on in.
No, I left. I went home.
What?
We're doing our videos.
Busy.
No, you're not too busy. Do you have enough on your head? It's plus like.
Oh, sorry. Says the guy sitting in a warm car.
It is
Yeah.
too warm in here.
Amy can join our
You guys
markings.
got the windows all fogged up.
Hey, Blue
Yeah,
Ventura, you
it's
want to
fine.
mark them? You already missed the first few.
Oh, thanks.
We can catch you up. Allie's got grit. What's your grade? Quick.
B.
B. That's what we gave him. Arrowhead Hanover.
A+.
Oh,
Ooh.
here we go.
A. That's all right. A+. I give him an A. Atron.
A.
How does Arrowhead Hanover get an A+
Because
in
I didn't want
Atron?
to listen to you.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Aunt Lily.
B+.
B+ for Aunt Lily. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill.
B+.
Wow. Really hard on Bluebird Tuxedo
Well,
Hill.
he annoys me.
Oh, okay. And Blue Ventura, you're up.
Oh, I have no idea.
You have to. You're marking them.
B+.
You.
A-. Looks fast,
I
but
like
can get
both.
a little
Yeah.
warm.
That's the Heston Blue Chip. All the Hestons we had, they get the alligator mouth sometimes, so they get
Yeah.
wound up. They're really hard to control. But what I found with them, when they're good, they're really good. Are you looking for some
I don't
snacks
know.
back
You got
there?
some snacks?
Addie was back eating some yogurt raisins.
I don't think she ate them.
Yes, she did. She ate a couple because she was really hungry. I forced her into eating them. Now you're gonna eat my orange. Okay. So Blue Ventura, A-, B+. I like both those marks. I'm going with A- because he does enough right to get to the A category. Definitely not an A+ yet. Not an A, an A-. I agree with that. Kadoo, you go.
Me?
Either one of you. You. Kadoo.
A-, because he's got some issues with the feet right now. He keeps ripping his shoes off.
That's
He's
not
had
his fault, but
No,
you're
no.
right.
But he's kind of powered through it different times where
right.
his feet are killing him because he keeps ripping his shoes off
Mhm.
and trying different shoes and trying to get them to stay on. And Enos has patched his feet and whatnot. But he's working through it.
A-. Amy?
A.
I agree, A. What is your reasoning? Amy, you went with this horse more than any of us.
Most are the same what Jason said.
Yeah. I like the horses that look to get their work done, that don't look for ways out. Kadoo, he's got little tiny feet anyway, but he had ripped his shoes off, and we went to a mushroom bar to keep him from doing that. And I think that maybe the glue was a little soft, a little chippy the last time, and he ripped it off. Still trotted his mile and looked good. That does hurt his feet. His walls are all broke up. They'll grow down. They'll grow down as long as we can keep his shoes on and keep his feet moving forward. But I love the fact that he never looks for a way out. He has to be bad for him to not trot that day. And I know the day he looked rough, one of our clients said, "Man, he almost looks lame." He was.
He lost the shoe that day.
He was sore.
Yeah.
His foot was very sore, and he still went out and got it done.
Yeah.
And you gotta like that about him. So I'm giving him a straight A, very close to an A+. Straight A for me for Kadoo. Now we're gonna mark Captain Incredible only because he just recently left and he is coming back on the 20th. So you went with him probably as much as I did, or more than I did, and you've seen the transition of this horse and how good he's got. I don't think you went with him at all, but you get to mark him also.
Why?
Because that's the way it is. So.
I don't have any feedback.
A.
Mhm.
Not an A+, because for the reasons you sent him to Florida, he had the chip out. But when everything was good, like perfect on him, you could tell there's a horse there.
A, okay. Now, I'm not going to project. I was going to give him an A+ till you just said all that, by the way. I was going to give him an A+, and I'm certain there's an A+ horse there, and it's more. One thing I will say about this horse, though, no, because of it, I still am going to give him an A+. His attitude is on point all the time. Even when he wasn't good, and he was on a shaft, or he was on a line, and he was out of gear, you could keep him going forward. And anytime he made a break, it was because he overpaced himself. It wasn't because he made a mistake. It was because we let him out, and he just rolled off stride. The day he ran on me the last time, he let his hobbles out 2 holes right before I went on the track. That's me. That's my fault.
Yeah, he's not looking to get out of work.
And I also am privy to a little bit of the information. The last text message I got from Scott, he said he had that splint crowd before he got there. He said he had a little temperature last Saturday, so he didn't train him. He trained him today, I'm sure. I'm going to wait to hear. But the only message I got from him is, this horse is a beast. That's all he wrote. And I believe he is. Because when you factor in his body, his breeding, his attitude, his gait, everything about him just screams monster, and that's what I believe and hope he is. So I'm going back to A+. I almost talked myself out of it. His attitude and work ethic pushed him back up into A+. Century Legion, you don't know, but you do. Century Legion.
What's the Trixton?
That's the Trixton. That was a Crypt Orchid that we had operated on. Took his, he's castrated now.
I give him an A-.
I think that's fair. You've actually sat behind him more than I have. When I went
He's
with him,
huge, isn't he?
Yeah.
oh, he's a big boy.
I was there when he come back from the sale.
Yeah, they said he trained great the other day too. Danny said he trained fantastic. I like the horse. Amy's really high in the Trixtons to begin with. So
I know Danny likes him.
Yeah, Danny loves him. This very nice colt. I'm giving him. I'm going to go with A-. Amy knows him better than me. He's got a beautiful gait, big, strong colt. He's castrated now. I've never really seen anybody say he's sour, he's looking for a way out. I've never seen that. I'm almost talking myself into an A, but I'm going to say A- for Century Legion. Really, really nice colt. Chicago Hall, you don't know. Also, you don't know the next two. Chicago Hall, A+. I think this is going to be one of the nicest Ontario breds we've ever had. Century Legion has an opportunity to be also, as does Gaslight Hall. I just think when you factor in the breeding, the work ethic, the gait, the strength of Chicago Hall, everybody that's ever gone with him has liked him. I think he's a really, really quality horse and an A+ for me.
I agree, because we kind of set the precedent with Princess, and he almost beat her the other day when we trained.
And I did beat her the day I trained her there.
She doesn't do anything wrong. So
No.
can't.
No. Oh, apparently she gets cast sometimes and kicks through the wall, but other than that, she doesn't do anything wrong. No. We have not. So Chicago Hall was great. Cleveland Masha, I think, is good. I'm giving her a B+. I just think there's a lot of room for improvement. Not that she does anything wrong. I just think that she's not quite to the A category yet, but she's getting there and wants to be there. The day I trained her, she was a little bit off left hind. She had knuckled over, and I think what she did was, sometimes when they knuckle over, the dressage people or the riding horse people or thoroughbreds or something, Melissa was the first time I heard it, give them a stinger. They'll hit right on that pastern bone, and it hurts and it bruises them, and they get lame on it. We put her in the pool for a week, brought her back, she was okay, put her back in the pool a couple of days, started her back up. Danny said she trained great the other day, so that looks like is exactly what happened, and has looked very, very good. So I am going to give her a B+. So you?
I was going to say a B. Just because she hasn't really got the chance to
That's true.
show anybody, but I'm sure there's improvement to be had.
She's I like what I like about her. One, she's bred pretty good. Dominic loves her because she's eligible to the Quebec program also. Yeah, so he's pretty partial to her. But I like her attitude. I like everything about that filly too. She does it all right. Country Dancing, I think everybody in this car knows. I told everybody the other day that Tim was floored by how good she trained. And then Dean told me she trained fantastic again yesterday. This is a filly. I thought that maybe a 5/8 would help, and I was right. She has been very, very good since going over. She's not here now. She's over at the Meadows with Tim, and she may just stay there right through to her racing. Really impressed with what I've seen from her. I like her a lot. I think everybody likes her. I forgot why I loved her so much. She's out of a sister to Sintra. And actually, we were in the room the other night talking. Kurt Sugg has the brother to her, and he's done very well. I think he said
I know that horse because he came here. Doyle brought him
That's
here.
right.
He's here for a day, and then Kurt
he was
picked him up.
he won in 51
Yep.
last year as a 3-year-old. That colt and got hurt, but a very, very nice horse. So, Country Dancing, I'm giving an A to, because I think she still could improve, but she is so good right now. It's crazy, but I am going to give her an A.
A for everything you said, and because she would still, now I obviously haven't seen her at the Meadows, but she would get maybe overpacing herself or get balled up or something and make that little mistake, but you could feel just so much power.
Yeah, very, very fast.
She was literally, I was here when Jacob brought the first 6 or 8 or whatever he had on, and she was the one that he pulled her off the trailer, and I said, like the way I said, what is that?
Yeah,
Like
gorgeous.
she just looks like
Tank.
Yeah, like I said, what's that?
Yeah. Very
So
nice
A on, I'd say on the verge of an A+.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Okay, Amy concurs. Now Jason would have more input than anybody on this horse. Dancing by Myself. This is our homebred at a Stolen Dancer. We've since sold the mare, and the mare stood like this. And the colt the other day touched his knee, but that'll be an easy fix. Very fast colt. I would say we have 6 trotting colts, and any one of those 6 at any given time can jump up and look like the best one we have. And this horse has probably spent as much time on the top of that list as any one of our Ohio bred trotting colts. But you can tell us about Dancing by Myself.
I like going with him. Very fast. Sometimes maybe too fast for his own good. Yesterday I kind of let him rattle. I looked over and seen where everybody was at the toe board in the half, and I said, okay, let's go. But he was very good yesterday. I went a half in 15, but I could have went a half in 25. Manners wise, he was very good yesterday.
Very important.
I think he can be an A+ very, very easily, but mentally he might just still be an A. But on the verge of being an A+.
Well, it sounds like Amy's going to agree, so I'll let her.
He's like a little bit mentally immature.
Yeah.
He roots his head sometimes, and sometimes he's a little rude. But he has the tools. I think he's literally just a little bit immature.
Well, I know I said that the horses have to be perfect, but I have to take into account that they are babies. And when we're in April of their 2-year-old year, and the only thing that this horse does is be found guilty of wanting to do too much work sometimes.
Right.
It's really hard for me not to give him an A+. So I'm going to give him an A+ because I just don't see a way. His ignorance is just greenness. He roots his head because he wants to play, right? He can pull sometimes, and we have that under control now, but he was pulling a little bit before because he wants to work more. And now we put the equipment on him. He acted up for a few days when we had it on him, but now he wears it, behaved. You said you could have went a half in 25 and just turned him on. He's just a pure workhorse.
How's this? I think he's an A+ horse.
So you already gave an A. You can't change it.
No, he's an A+ horse who today is an A.
I'm giving him an A+ horse because I'm going to give him.
No projections.
I'm not projecting. I don't have to. His only mistake is he wants to do more work than we're allowing him to do right now. That was his only mistake. His mistakes are born in that bracket, and for that and that alone, knowing that he's an A, it's April. I'm giving him an A+ because what I see is a horse that has huge upside, really fast horse, and loves his work. So it's really hard to say that and not give him an A+.
Fair.
Dancing in My Socks. He jumped over a shadow yesterday.
Go first.
And Jason, you might want to go first because Jason needs to ponder this. Jason was going with him yesterday and he jumped over something, and so I'm going to give him a minute to cool down. You can go with Dancing in My Socks.
Dancing in My Socks.
Today.
He's a B today.
He's a B today?
Yeah.
Okay, it's very polite. He's getting a B today. Do you have any explanation?
I just, I feel bad comparing them already, but, I mean, you have to compare him to AJ, which is not fair.
AJ isn't the benchmark. Doing his work right and doing it fast enough and proper is.
He has streaks of rudeness that annoy me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As far as going out and jogging him, he's polite on the track, except for jumping over stuff. But, he doesn't pull. He has a nice gait.
So you're giving him a B. Okay, that's fair.
He looks nice.
You want to jump in here?
24 hours ago, we got a F because he annoys me. And I usually don't mind going with him, but he's done the shadow stuff before. I don't know if we videoed or not, but I was first over one day and he jumped something in the far turn again. Mm-hmm. He run. And he can be on the track when not jumping something. He's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rude going out the door. Kind of rude in the barn, hooking up. Did jump a shadow yesterday. I yelled very loudly, so I didn't get run over by Amy. Because the two I was following, he just simply couldn't keep up with when they took off. And I know he's done this, and now he's starting to do it. And I'm like, oh boy, we're going fast. And they took off. 2 horses we'll get to later. And I just couldn't. When they accelerated, I couldn't go with them that quick. And I was trying. I'm like, wait. And he didn't. And you can see it. I went back and looked. The second shadow, he gives a little skip. And then the third one, he jumped, and he's not extremely graceful.
Mm.
When it's cloudy, I don't mind going with him. He's not bad. I'll give him a B-.
I'm giving him a C. I don't like the horse, to be honest.
I didn't know we were allowed to be rude.
I'm giving
He got an F-
I
24
changed
hours ago.
No, at the end of the day, I think he has to be faster. He has to be smarter. He has to be nicer.
And at the end of the day, we have 4 or 5 pacers that he
Would
cannot
kill him.
go with.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be an okay horse. Is he going to be a Buckeye horse? Is he going to be a Sire Stake horse? That would be a metamorphosis that I don't even know they had a word for it. It would be an exceptional transition for him to become what he is today to a Sire Stake horse. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong. Listen, the 8th best Sire Stake horse is a Buckeye horse, right?
Yeah,
So if he's an okay horse, great, that would be nice. I don't like the jump and the stuff. That's Dancing Yankee. He can make some frustrating animals, but he's made some nice ones too that we've had. We're going to talk about one in a minute. So I'm not going to blame, I'm not getting upset with Dancing Yankee. I wouldn't hesitate to buy another one in a heartbeat, but they are quirky. This guy's quirky. He needs to put it together a lot. He needs to work harder on the track. He needs to pace faster, and he needs to pay attention to his work. So for that reason, I'm giving him a C.
And he was on the right line yesterday.
All that stuff we can work at. I just need to see more. He's flashy. He's pretty. He's got a nice gait. I need to see more. I'm giving him a C today, which is an opportunity for him to do much better. And he could very well do it. He's a bigger colt than most colts, so he's got some body to grow into, and obviously some brain to grow into. But he could. That will be up to him today. Right now, I'm giving him a C. Fire and Shine. I don't mind her. Little rude.
Oh, I didn't even mention how he kicked me that day and near took her head off too.
No,
we didn't even get to that.
Yeah,
You guys already gave your grades, so you don't get to change.
Okay.
Well, you should have went first.
That's the way it is. Fire and Shine, little rude, but getting better. The thing that bothers me a little bit about her, she'll regress sometimes. Where I've gone with her, I saw Eric go with her, geez, she looks good. And then you go with her the next time, you're like, oh, little mongrel. But she does have a nice gait. She doesn't wear any boots. She's not going to. She can pace. I think it is fair, as Amy said, to train the pacers together and ask her to come first over into AJ or Alexandra. That's a tall ask. To put her in with horses she should be able to do with, I think you'll see a much better Fire and Shine. I think she's going to be a decent filly. That's probably going to be fun to race in the summer. But right now, that polishing, we don't have a lot to go on because we've never had any
first crop.
Of the Catch the Fires. We haven't had any of them, so we don't really. You'll hear me talk about the What the Hills or the Dancing Yankees we've had. We haven't had any Catch the Fires, so it's hard for me to discern what they're like. Right now, I'm not disappointed with her. I wish she'd do it a little smarter, but she's less rude than I remember her a month ago, and she does possess some ability and speed. So for that, I'm giving her a B+.
She can be a mongrel, jogging around and doing everything. In the mile, she's very polite, but she lacks maybe killer instinct right now.
A little bit, yep.
Yesterday, I'm in the 3-hole with socks, and I looked over to see who was first over, and I saw the martingale in the brain cord.
Not the place to be.
Knowing the two that were sitting 1-2.
Yeah,
I was like,
Uncle Joe.
Little did I know, an eighth of a mile later, I was near toast. But I said, yeah, you're in a bad spot, Joe.
I felt.
You're in a real bad spot, Joe.
Yeah.
Like to see some of the. I mean, when you're jogging around, it's borderline rudeness.
Sometimes, yeah. She was better with the spring bit on. She was
has
much
been
better. She snakes around, but
I
she
took
just
the
has
leather
to.
bit out of her mouth.
Yeah, she just has to understand. Go out, go straight, and behave. She's not there yet, but she was really rude a month ago, and she is getting better. So I do like to see the progression. I would like to see more of it, but there is progression there, and I think there's a decent little filly in there. Anyway, it's not my mark. It's your mark.
I'll give her a B.
Okay.
Yeah, B. She wants to go fast when you're jogging and want to be slow, and then when you want to go fast, she decides if she's going to go fast or not. And that,
So she's a filly.
okay, but that is where the improvement, I think, needs to come from.
Yeah.
I want to rip your arms out when we're supposed to have a nice Monday.
But she'll go and jog some days nice. I see other people jogging her, and she
Not
seems...
that all. Everybody
No,
kind of
it's
complains.
pretty much daily.
I know.
Her fan club is short.
2 fingers when I went with her the first day with the spring bit on.
I haven't gone with her since she had the spring
I
bit
also
on.
haven't.
She's much better with that on. Anyway,
She
B and
does
B.
have a nice gait, though, I will say.
We're at 29 minutes. I'm going to cut you off after you give your mark. B and B.
Can you move up with that still going so he can pull up here?
No, I don't think I can.
Okay.
No. Foxy Seaside. I'm going to start. I haven't gone with her a lot, but Joey gets along really well with her. She looked very, very good yesterday. I'm giving her an A. I could give her an A-, but there's a lot of reasons to give her an A. There's no reason to give her an A+ just yet. Consistency is not there, but it will. Attitude seems to be good. Work ethic is on point. She has some work to do and some polishing to do. She's closer to an A- and an A+, but for me today, right here, right now, she's an A.
I haven't gone with her in a long time, but what I've seen the last, she's been okay and almost looks like she's getting better. That was a big mile yesterday, and she's coming forward all the time. I find it hard to give her an A+ when I haven't gone with her, but easy A.
Yep, I agree.
I was gonna say an A-, just because I think I gave her like a B- or something the last time we did this. But she is better. She is getting better, and yesterday she did impress me because
The other day too, I really noticed her because it was one of those. I kind of narrowed it down.